chair's still higher than yours.
I know. I've tried to get it to go up, but it won't.
Because I'm the host and you're the co-host. I'm just kidding. Hey, welcome into the DJ Preps Football Preview Show. This is week 6, is it not?
Yeah,
it is. We're
sure.
like at the midway point of the season. Wow, crazy. Hey, so welcome in. We're going to go through 3 of the big games this week. We'll break down the keys to the game. We'll make predictions like we always do, have the Double Trouble Award. And, of course, we have to thank our wonderful sponsor, Pizza Doctor at Midtown Point in Tupelo. We got the meat lovers here today.
It's already half gone.
It is.
And it just came.
Yeah, we just got it 5 minutes ago.
I was going to say, maybe less than 5 minutes.
Look at all that meat. Pizza Doctor has the meats.
Take that, Arby's.
Yeah, don't sue us. Okay, so Dylan, Brad, John Luke behind the camera. John Pitt's off camera to offer his chortles when we make hilarious jokes. Let's start with last week's predictions, Dylan. You're slipping behind me, buddy.
Yeah, I had a bad week.
I went 2-1, you went 1-2, so that's got me 10-2 on the year. You're 8-4, but you did have the closest pick of the week.
Yeah.
You picked Tupelo over Grenada 38-7. It was 35-6. So they dominated more than I picked them to.
Yeah.
So
I was comfortable in that one. If you remember last week, I was like very confident in that pick. The other two, I was like, yeah. And they came back to bite me. So
yes, they did. Okay, so let's get into this week's games to watch. 3 games. We'll start with Tupelo Christian at Biggersville. Both of these teams are 1-0 in Division 1-1A, so huge game. I mean, winner of this game has an inside track to the division title. Now, let's not count out Smithville,
right?
Obviously, but this is the last few years really been a big division game. So keys to the game. Key number 1: feed the frosh. Freshman Emmanuel Randall for TCPS. He's got 509 total yards. He's got that's rushing and receiving. He's got 6 touchdowns, and he's got 3 100-yard rushing games. So, you know, before the season, we thought, okay, Jaden Warren was going to be the guy at running back, but they've really just let him play linebacker, which he's very good at playing. And they've got this freshman, Randall, which we didn't really know much about, but Sean Holliday before the season was kind of talking him up. And so this is a kid that's already made an impact and could be kind of the future of that offense.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been really, really good. You said that he had 3 100-yard rushing performances. I think they've only played 4 games.
Yeah, 4 games.
So he's been. I think the one he didn't have he had 91 yards. So he's very good, very talented guy. But that leads us into key number 2, and it's to slow the Lions' roll. Biggersville offense has just been clicking, just about like they were last year up over the last 2 weeks. They scored 102 points, albeit against the struggling Walnut squad. I think they put 46 on Walnut and then 58 on Thrasher last Thursday. But still, this offense is loaded with guys like Drew Rousey at quarterback. He's back as a sophomore with tons of experience. You got Zay Davis, who's a speedster that they give the ball to and get on the perimeter and score. But then Jathan Hatch, that sophomore there at running back, he's a load to bring down too. So they've got a lot of pieces on that offense, and right now it's clicking for them. So for TCPS, you got to find a way with guys like Jaden Warren and Brewer Bailey. So those linebackers have got to find a way to get the ball carried to the ground, or Biggersville can have a night.
Definitely. I think key number 3, always the most important key. We all know who Emperor Nero would be cheering for between the Lions of Biggersville and Tupelo Christian. Is that too soon?
Yeah, maybe. That was 80-50 something. I don't know.
Too soon. You're right. It was in the 80-50s.
Yeah. I know this because, this isn't important, but I've been teaching a Sunday school class on the Book of Romans. So
there you go.
That was the start of.
Don't test this man's
humble brag.
Yeah, I just
no.
Yeah.
Okay, prediction time, and this is a tough one for me, Dylan. These teams usually play each other pretty well. I don't know though. Biggersville usually is able to score on TCPS for whatever reason. And TCPS, I mean, I just feel like I don't quite know what to make of them just yet. And they played a couple of tough teams to open the season, lost. They came back and won the next 2 games against not as tough opponents. So I'm going to take Biggersville at home to win this one 30-23. Yes, John?
Take the over.
Take the over. 30-23 Lions.
Yeah, I agree with John a little bit. I think there's going to be some points scored in this game. I think TCPS is going to lead. We've talked about it preseason. If you didn't see any of that stuff, TCPS offensive line is huge.
Yeah.
They're going to have a massive advantage in every one of the game they play because offensive line wise, nobody's going to compare.
They average about 275 a man.
I mean, they're huge.
In
And
1A.
so, and with Randall, that's a big reason why Randall's been able to have such a good start. I think like they're going to run the ball and be successful. I think at the end of the day, Biggersville's just got one or two too many weapons. For TCPS to try to defend. So I got Biggersville 35-27.
There we go. Game number 2. It's the A game. Amory at Aberdeen. Both teams coming in with 2-3 records. This is also the Division 4-3A opener. These teams have not been division opponents since like 08 or something like that. It's been a while. So this game has a little extra meaning being a division game, but it's a big rival game regardless. Keys to the game. Key number 1, Aberdeen needs to get back to playing some defense. They played defense very well the first 2 games on the field. Of course, they had to forfeit the first 2, but then they shut out Calhoun City in overtime, held that Morville air raid offense to 21 points in the win. That was impressive. But then they gave up 41 last week to Caledonia, which looks like that's a pretty good team.
They certainly looked the part. But key number 2 is for Amory is to regain the rhythm on offense. We talked about Aberdeen trying to get better and get back in rhythm on defense. Well, Amory's got to get back on course offensively because in their 2 wins they scored 88 points. And those wins have 51 on Morville and 38 against North Pontotoc. But last week against Houston got held down to 20 points in that loss there against a good Houston squad. And it seems like Amory went against the 3 best opponents that they've lost to, been right around that 20-point mark. Whatever. So for them, it's trying to get better than that. Get it to 28, get it to 35 against a good team a good defense like Amory. So that'll be key in this game for sure.
And key number 3, and I really wish I'd brought my sunglasses in for this one. But key number 3 is both teams better bring their A game. Get it? It's called the A game.
Yeah.
And okay. Predictions, you go first.
Okay. I like this Aberdeen squad. Last year, Amory won at 47-0. I don't see that happening.
No.
I don't think Amory's as explosive on offense as they were a year ago. And Aberdeen is much improved from last season. So I think this game will be closer. I still think Amory's got a little too much. So I got Amory 28-14.
I think it'll be close as well, closer than you're predicting, in fact. I do like Aberdeen's chances, but I'm still going to have to go with Amory in this one as well. But I think it'll be kind of a defensive battle. 21-16 is my prediction. Panthers over the Bulldogs. And game number 3, Tupelo at Oxford. Tupelo, the number 1 ranked Daily Journal large school, unbeaten 5-0. Oxford's 3-2. They're both 1-0 in Division 2-6A. So this is a huge division showdown. Keys to the game. Key number 1, Tupelo's defensive backs against Oxford's wide receivers. Now, the Wave have been banged up. They had a couple of guys miss time in the secondary. And they still have some great players back there like Zach Pratt and Fred Adams. And they had some guys make some good plays last week. They had Jamal Edwards.
The fumble recovery.
Yeah, the fumble, the scoop and score. But the Chargers, on the other hand, have been trying to find some answers at wide receiver. The passing game has been sputtering. They lost a lot of guys. They lost pretty much all their wide receiver production, and they're still trying to find some guys they can count on. So you got, 2 units there that are trying to kind of hold things together, and I would probably give an advantage to Tupelo's secondary in this one, though.
Yeah, especially with their depth. But
Exactly.
But, that leads us right into a point or key number 2, which is for this matchup, which defensive stars will shine the brightest. When you think about it, I think we mention it every podcast we do about Tupelo or in this show too about Tupelo's defense and how insanely good they've been. They've probably been the best defensive unit across the state this year so far through the halfway point of the season. So. They've
got guys at every level. Jacarius Clayton up front, along with Romero Hampton. You got Deion Shumpert at linebacker. You've got the guys I mentioned in the secondary, Brad and Adams. And then Oxford's got plenty of stars too.
Yeah, Alex Sanford, Ben Gabo, Keegan Wilfon, those guys at linebacker, defensive end. They've got the pieces defensively. They pitched a shutout last week against Murrah, which we kind of predicted Murrah would probably struggle there. Yeah. But Oxford has its own alignment of stars at each level too. And so for this game, Tupelo scored 3 defensive touchdowns in the last 3 weeks,
yes,
or one each week, or whatever. So these stars are going to come out, and that defense, somebody on that defense is going to make a play one way or the other, and that's going to make a huge impact in a big 6A game like this.
Definitely. And then key number 3, which is the better nickname, Cornbread or Cut? Of course, Ty Harden, the Tupelo head coach, is known as Cornbread from his days at Houston High School. And then Chris Cutcliffe at Oxford, Coach Cut.
Yeah. They're both good. They're both good.
nicknames.
I would give the edge to cornbread
It's really southern.
because it's very southern and it's very unique.
It is.
And Cut kind of shares a nickname with his dad a little bit.
True. Wow.
That is analysis. That is great analysis.
That's in-depth analysis.
So,
that
like,
you come to expect.
do you know another cornbread?
I was about to say I don't know another cornbread.
Right. When I only know two Cuts, but one of them's David Cutcliffe, one of them's Chris Cutcliffe. So, like, I guess that's like the only difference because they're both really good nicknames. So
It's surprising there's not more cornbreads around here when you think about
I
it.
bet there probably is that we just don't know.
haven't met them. Okay.
I'm from Walnut. I should know plenty of cornbreads, but we
Yeah,
just
you
we just
should.
got a bunch of Bubbas.
Bunch of Bubbas. Okay, let's make predictions. I expect this to be a pretty defensive battle. I mean, we talked about the defensive stars on each side. But the way Tupelo's been playing, man, and the offense keeps improving, I think they'll score enough points. I think the defense will be able to keep Oxford in check, and I'll take the Wave 20-10.
I think like it's similar to the way I saw Oxford Lafayette a few weeks ago, where we both thought maybe a defensive battle, but I think offenses, I think at this point of the year, are starting to hit their stride, and I think that's what surprised us in that first half against Lafayette and Oxford.
Yeah.
Kind of think both offenses will have a little more success, even though both defenses are very good. But I've still got Tupelo. I think that defense has just been, like I said, the best in the state probably. Oxford's just a tick behind offensively maybe on the progression than where Tupelo's made it over the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
So I got Tupelo 24-17.
There we go. And those are the games to watch. Look for our coverage in the Daily Journal and at djournal.com this weekend. Let's wrap things up with the Double Trouble Award. Best 1-2 punch from last week, and this was super easy to pick.
Yeah.
Dawson Phillips and Jordan Franks of Moorville. They beat Mantachi 70-58. This was a football game. Not basketball season's still like a month away. Phillips, the quarterback, 38 of 43, 637 yards, 9 touchdowns, and he had 47 yards and a touchdown rushing. So 10 total touchdowns. Broke a bunch of school records.
Yeah, he's already the school's all-time passing leader for career, for yardage, for touchdowns, all the things you can be at Moorville, and then he just shattered all the single game stuff last week. So.
Yeah, he did. And then Franks, the wide receiver, 11 catches, 166 yards. He had 6 of those touchdown receptions from Dawson Phillips. So that air raid offense, tell you what, if you want to see how an air raid offense is supposed to work, go check out the Moorville Troopers. Okay, that's all the time we have for this episode of Prep Rally. Thanks again for tuning in. Prep Rally. No, this is the D Journal Preps Football. What's it called?
I don't know.
The DJ Preps Football Preview Show. Prep Rally is our podcast, though. Check that out. That'll drop later today. Find it in iTunes, any of your podcast apps, or online at preprally.djournal.com. And thanks again to our sponsor, Pizza Doctor. Meat lovers. We got a 5 cheese over there. They got all kinds of fun stuff. So check them out in Tupelo at Midtown Point. There you go. And that's all the time we have. So we will see y'all next week. I'm going to fold this up nicely because when I crumple it, I still like to keep it for reference later. So we'll see y'all next time.